What's up, tubers? Teo here, Simplistic Fishing. It is time to finish out Stillhouse Hollow Reservoir, or however you say it. I think it's Stillhouse Hollow Lake, not Stillhouse Hollow Reservoir. Anyways, time to finish out that lake. We've been talking about it forever. We did the Google Earth breakdowns. If you guys missed those videos, just go look at the lake breakdown playlist. We're now on video 2 of our offshore hotspots. We're actually going to finish up the lake today in this video. Stick around. Got some good stuff for you. Let's go. Here we are again, back in Navionics web app, and we're going to take a look at Stillhouse Hollow Lake tonight. Now, if you missed the last video, we started up here by the dam, and we worked our way all the way up here, up the right side, down through here, all the way down through these little coves, and we ended over here at Dana Point. So I'm going to zoom in here, not Dana Point, Dana Peak Park. I'm going to call it Dana Point because it's right out of off the point of the park. So that's where we ended last time. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're just going to move our way up, and we're going to take a look and see what else we can find out here. Now, if you've missed any of the Google Earth videos, or if you missed the offshore video from last time, just go out to our lake breakdown playlist. Take a look at all the different lake breakdowns that we have out there. We don't just have Stillhouse Hollow. We've got a ton of them out there, but you can find all the Stillhouse Hollow videos out there on the lake breakdown playlist. So definitely go check that out. All right, so let's keep moving up and let's talk about some different areas that we really, really like. Now, we talked about this stuff last time, I believe, but let's go ahead and cover it again just in case. But if we zoom in right here, we've got a nice little, well, let me come back over here. There's a little marker here. It says spawning area. Now, that does look like a pretty good spawning area, so definitely look at that. But we're talking offshore here. So if we look out here, there's a nice little point that comes out, and it's an underwater point. And really, right now, with the water being so low, this is probably going to be a really good point to fish around. You got a nice road bed that's right in here, right in this little area. You've also got the nice flat top that's right out here as well. And I don't know if it says anything out there. It just says that there's a hump there, but I thought there could be with these little red dots. There could be some house foundations, something like that, some kind of cover that's out there to be able to fish around. So I'd definitely go look at that. Next spot, love spots that set up like this. You can notice all the contour lines right in here. Like if you look all right in here, they're all super tight contour lines. Well, anytime you see that, that means that you've got a really, really sharp break. And typically it's close to a creek channel or river channel or something. Something's causing that to have such a break there. So if you look right here, the creek channel almost comes up and swings really close to this, or the river channel comes up and swings really, really close to this, fairly close, not like super, super close, but close enough to make this point just be absolutely juicy. So you got a really good point there with a really good break. It breaks hard right on this side, and then it kind of tapers down on this side, and it sets up really close to that river channel. All of those things make that point definitely a good place to look. And if you look at that point up here too, it's got a nice, really shallow top. Now that's probably out of the water right now, but in normal conditions, that would be a primo spot to go look at. All right, so let's keep moving up here. Obviously, there's all kinds of good stuff back in these flats and stuff like that. But of course, we're focused on offshore stuff right now. Another good offshore stuff spot for me, I would focus on the outside of this island. If you look at the rest of the island, it's pretty flat. Like back behind it in the saddle, back up in here is pretty flat, and all of that. But over in here, you've got some really nice breaks right off the front of the island. So you probably got somewhat of a ledge or something going on right around in here. So definitely take a look at that for sure. There's no creek beds or river channels or anything like that close by, but I definitely like that area for sure. All right, so let's keep moving up, see what else we can find. There's a bridge way out there in 60 foot of water. Next thing I found would be this next point. Again, that river channel swinging up again. Look at that bank line. Look how sharp contours it are. That means that bank line is pretty much a bluff wall or really close to a bluff wall. So that's going to be a great time to fish. Summertime, even in the fall time, they'll even push up there, but mainly like winter and summertime, those are kind of be your primo times to go find them on those bluff walls. But these points, this point right here, that's money. We talked about that point just to say, actually, we didn't. It looks exactly like the point from earlier. So like that point, and this hump up here as well. This hump comes out. You've got a river channel swing right here. The front side of this hump and even the top of the hump, those are going to be really good places to look. All right, so let's keep moving on up. We're going to talk about what we have up here. So when we come up here, we talk about really good places for a fish to stage. And, they're in those different patterns where not all of them, but the majority, maybe not even the majority of them, but a percentage of them, and no one really knows what percent, will basically go from main lake to secondary spots to the spawning flats in the very back, and then they'll just move their way back up to the front. And it's a cycle that they just go over and over and over again. Pretty much you can start in the spring and they go shallow, and then you just follow them out till the main lake in the middle of the summer. And then when it starts to get cooler, they start to work their way back in. They get back into the coves, and then when it starts getting really cold, they start to move their way back out to the main lake. And then basically they start to move their way back into spawn, and you can see they just stay in this pattern. Well, when you're in those patterns, those fish that do all of that migrating, it's really important to pick up key areas that look like stop signs. And this spot right here, I know it's a long story to get there, but this spot right here is a perfect stop sign for the fish. They can go back in here and they can spawn. They can hang up here and stage forever. So there's always going to be fish going and coming. This is a perfect staging area. You've got two creek beds that split off. Really, really like that area right in there. There's also some kind of fishing diving hotspot that's over here on this side too. I don't know how valid that is, but I would definitely be fishing around this point right up in here. That looks excellent. All right, let's keep moving down as we follow that river channel down. Obviously, we'll talk about this stuff later on in the video when we get to that side. So I'm not ignoring that. I'm just going to stay on this side for now until we swing around. The next spot would be down in here. Notice there's a lot of vegetation in here. You can see where it says there's submerged vegetation, but look right in here. There's nice little ridges, nice little breaks going on right in here. You've got 12 foot, and then all of a sudden it breaks to 20 foot, 9 foot, probably 10 or 11 foot in here, boom, 20 foot. So if there is grass in here, it's possible that grass would come out and stop right where those breaks are. And if not, that's just some really deep grass that you have. And you can get even out here into the deeper stuff where it's 20 to 30 foot. You got another break right in there. But that area right in there, just really love how that area sets up. All right, so I'm going to zoom back out. We're going to keep going down. Next spot's going to be right here. Again, really nice point. It's shallow as heck right now, so this probably isn't going to be as good of a point because it looks like it kind of putters out once you get out to about right in here, but this would be a really good shallow point to fish. And if you're not going to fish the point, what you could do is just scoot over here if the water's been shallow, and right in here, notice this river channel right here, swinging down here, and it swings up against this right here. That means there's a ledge that's right here. And it also means that there's likely going to be some debris or some kind of cover. So lay down, stuff like that, just washed up stuff that's going to wash up right in here because of the way that creek channel swings against it. So right in here, if that point's no good, just come out here and try this area right in here. I think that's going to be a pretty productive area for you to fish. All right, so we're going to go back in here, giant flat, right? Giant flat. Here, spinnerbait, hotspot. Yeah, I can imagine because you got to cover so much dang water to find them. We get back in here and we go up in this little pocket, this little cove pocket, whatever you want to call it. But we get up in here. One, we've got the river channel swing, right? And you guys know I love the river channel swings. Those are money. So this area right in here is going to be really good. And one thing that I really like is getting on the back end of, or the front end of wherever that swing starts. So that this one's kind of starts way out here, so that doesn't count, but it does end right in here, which just happens to be on the edge of a point that's also touching a creek bed. So you can imagine that everything right in here just looks absolutely money. This point looks really, really good. I would definitely fish all around this point, see what you can find, even getting way out here. I mean, with the water, if the water's 8 to 10 foot low, this really isn't that deep anyways. 22 foot's not that bad. And it's 10 foot to 10 foot shallower now. I mean, you're only looking at about 12 foot. So definitely an area that you want to take a look at. That creek bed and that river channel all being right there. I mean, that just looks really good. Right where I put that point at, I think that's probably going to be one of the better spots, but I could be wrong because they're going to move all around here, all around this point, but definitely a good spot to look at. All right, moving on out here. I didn't mark it, but you may also want to check over here, right here where these ledges are. So you've got that huge flat that's back here, and then you've got that ledge that's up here. So if you like that ledge type fishing, this would be a really good area to focus on the ledges that are out there. All right, let's keep moving down, see what else we can find over here. I don't know if I marked too much back in here. We got a couple. Right back in here, the next spot would be right in here. This spot right here where you see this hump, I really like that. It says it's Trimmer Creek or Trimmer Creek. But if you look here, if we follow this little creek channel, right? Here's the creek channel. It comes through here. And we look at right where that swing is. Right there is where that hump is. So you have a creek channel swing, plus you have a hump. That just looks really, really good. If we zoom in here, you're going to notice it goes from basically, I don't know, 16 feet, 15, 16 feet, up to 12 feet. So you've got about a 4-foot hump there that sets right in the middle of that whole creek channel swing, which probably means that's a really good hard spot as well. So that spot right there looks really good. And you have something pretty similar over here. If you look right here, this is the edge of a little point that comes out. And then right there off that tip of it, that just looks really, really good right in that area right there. Again, following this creek channel and just looking for the really good spots. This is a nice big flat that's up here, good feeding table. And then right here is a really sharp ledge. So you can see them setting up right here along the ledge and then getting up here and doing their feeding. So all those areas in there look really, really good. Now, I didn't mark anything any further back. I lied. I got one more. If we go back here, we're going to switch sides now. We're going to start coming up this side. This first spot, right now, it's probably not even doable because the water being so low. But if the water's at a normal depth and really talking more like spring and fall time, these little spots right here, we have these little cutouts. You got a little creek bed coming in and it's coming off the main river channel. These areas right here, fishing around the points that come in and then fishing a little area of really the pinch point that comes in right here, those can be really productive areas. So if the water does come up, definitely go take a look at that, at those areas back there. All right, so we're going to swing on up. We're going to stay on this side now because we've already covered all of those. We're going to go underneath this bridge right here, whatever bridge that is. You locals will definitely know. We're going to come over here. And the first thing that I notice is just looking at the contours is that there's something interesting over here. One, you've got a big flat that you could fish. You could fish this whole entire flat and see what you could find on the flat that they might relate to, maybe rock piles, stuff like that. But then also, if you look right here, someone had put a marker here that there's I can't even get it to come up, that there's a rock wall. So it kind of looks like maybe that rock wall's right up where the contours start right in there, but I think it's right where I put that marker at. So look in there and see if you can find anything there. There's also some additional rock that's way out in here. So you definitely want to look at that. You've got some more markers here that there's a rock wall towards, see what it says, rock wall towards the bridge. So it looks like it goes towards the bridge. So definitely just come out here and scan right in that area. Here's the bridge. And you're going to scan right over here, right off the edge of this flat. So it's not the ledge that's here because from the river channel, which also looks really good, but it's going to be right there, right on the edge of that flat, right where I put those markers at. All right, so let's keep going up. And like I said just a minute ago, right here again, we've got another creek channel swing or a river channel swing. Notice how it has that nice curve in it. And when you get into the sweet spots of those bends, that's when you get the biggest breaks. So like right here to right here, you can't see much right now. But if I take that and I zoom that in, there's your break that's right here and right here. Notice how the contours are so much tighter right here than they are anywhere else. And that's usually the spot that you're going to be able to locate them at. All right, so we're going to swing on up. We're going to get all the way around, following that river channel around. Didn't really see much here, just a giant flat. Now, there could be stuff up on that flat. You can go up there and scan around, see if you can find stuff, but I didn't really see anything from a contour perspective that I could mark for you guys. You do come over here, though, and you've got some buildings that are down here. And there's a little kind of point, little underwater point, not much of a point, but it does go out. It's only like 7 or 8 feet, and then it breaks off to about 12 feet. So you got a little bit of a break. But right up in here, looks like you got some old foundations or something like that. Now, of course, water's pretty low right now, so that may not be doable. But if the water's at a decent height, that would definitely be a good place. And then while we're talking about offshore stuff as well. And we're talking about those ledge fishings again. Look here, you've got a creek channel that's swinging pretty hard right here, and then it's going to swing around down a little bit farther down here to this bottom part. Now, notice here you don't see much, but if we zoom in, we start to see it take shape. So right here, you've got that really sharp bend and a really good ledge right in there. And then also, if you move on down over here to the side, you got a pretty decent little ledge over here on the side, but the best place is probably going to be right in here, which it is. Right here, you've got a really sharp ledge and then a creek bed that comes in, a nice point, sharp ledge, creek channel comes in, and then the river channel swing right here too, which is awesome. So this area right in here, that is a really, really high percentage area to find some fish. All right, let's see if we can finish this off. I don't know if I can or not. I think I can, but I don't know for sure. Don't think we're going to be able to. So we're going to keep going a little bit further, see what else we can find, and then we'll move up from there. So we talked about these two spots right there. Let's keep moving down. Now, right around in this area, and I apologize, there's not much here to mark to say where I'm actually at. But if we look right in here, again, it's another one of those ridges. So here's the main river right here. Here's a creek bed that comes in. This spot right here, which I didn't even mark this spot, but this spot right in here is going to be really good as well. Even this spot back in here where it curves back in, that could be a really good spot. This whole hump could be a good spot, this little point that comes out. And then back in here where that creek channel swings up against, you got some really sharp contours going on in there. So I would say pretty much like I would start here and just kind of cast over the top, see if I can find anything, maybe hit that point, fish around there, then come over here, fish the creek channel side, try that, see if that works there, then maybe motor over here a little bit more and fish right around in here. Now, it is possible you could catch them right here too. So I guess when you get in here, you just need to kind of cover that whole area because that whole area looks like a really good spot to be able to find them at. All right, so let's keep moving up. We're going to get up here again close to Dana Peak. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this little point that's right here. Now, earlier I told you I like it when the bluff walls go and then right at the very end or the very, very beginning. And again, this is one of those things where it's ending right here and it has that nice little point and it ends right in there. Those just seem for me, for whatever reason, those are just really good areas for me to find fish. So this point here, to me, is a very high percentage point for sure. You definitely want to check that one out. All right, let's go on back up here. We're looking again. Here's another river channel swing, and it's getting really close to this flat that's out here. So this is going to kind of be the end of the bluff wall again, and that right there is going to be money. That's a really nice ledge. Look how shallow it is right here. It's 6 feet, and then if you just come out a little bit, it's 42 feet. So you have a massive ledge that's right in here, and right here is kind of around the area where it starts to kind of give away. So this whole area right in here definitely going to be a good area to focus on. All right, so let's keep going around. We're going to get over here, and I think when we get even with Dana Peak, we'll end. So we'll end down right in here for today, and then we'll finish the rest of it up in the next video. But let's at least cover this little point that's up here, this little flat. We talked about that spot. You've got some submerged stuff in here, some submerged buildings. I don't know what this funnel means. I don't see much of a funnel there, but there could be something there that I just can't see on the contour lines. But I do like this over here. If we zoom in a little bit, we've got a little hump, but this is what I like right here. You've got a road bed that's out here on top of this flat. And then right in here, you've got a really nice little drop that happens. So you got a nice little ledge and you've got a road bed that's right in there as well. So I would definitely look at that spot. Over here, you've got a pretty, just not much of a hump, but enough of a hump for them to collect on there. It goes up to about 15 foot. And you can see on that other side, more on the northeastern side, it drops all the way down to 22 foot. So about a 7-foot drop going on right in that area as well. Not too shabby. So let's go ahead and move on down. And right here, we're going to be even with that Dana Peak. So we'll end right down here on these. Let's go ahead and zoom in here and take a look at all these and see why we like those. So the first one we're going to talk about, these three right here. Let's talk about this one down here. Now, again, there's a creek bed, right? And I'm always focusing on these creek beds because I really have a lot of confidence in focusing around creek beds, riverbeds, stuff like that. So if I find a creek bed that's coming up and swinging up against something, I'm always going to fish those areas. And right here is a primo area. And look how sharp those contour lines get right there, right on that creek channel swing. So right in here, really good spot. Also a good staging area. Creek bed out here, right? Main river was out there, quite a little ways, but main lake point, I guess you could say, right here. But this one looks pretty good too. And that riverbed, that creek bed, is creating a pretty good drop right off the edge of that point. And then if you move down here, we got another point that's down here. Now, this one's not as obvious. It has a marker that says lunker, but this one's not as obvious as a point. So, a lot of times you'll figure out once you start getting a little bit better at fishing, especially is that when you start fishing a lot of the points, you're going to realize that a lot of other people have figured it out as well. So you start kind of competing for points, especially on these local lakes that are close to the DFW area. So this is one of those points that a lot of people are just going to overlook. They're not going to think much of this point, but this point looks really good. It comes off. You can see it's a little bit of a secondary point. It's got a creek channel that comes right up against it and swings right up here and creates that big ledge. And it's just like we've been talking about all this video. I love it when we can get on the very ends of the big breaks, the bluff walls, the ledges and stuff like that. It's the very ends that seem to be the best. And this is just the perfect spot right there with the right where it ends. So let's keep moving up. Let's see what else we can find right in this little area. I think we have 3 more, and we're going to get a little dog barking action as well. Not sure if you guys can hear that, but this next point right in here, this looks good too. It's got a nice little break off the edge of it, but just the overall, just the way the point sets up, it's got the creek bed close to it. I can see them setting up here and then moving down and setting up down here for sure. Those just look like really good areas. And then 2 more spots to show you before we end on this video. We've got the main river channel coming down here, right? Swinging pretty hard. And right here are these points. This point right here and this point right here and this point right here are just really good looking points. And they come out, they're pretty shallow. They come off pretty far. There's really good feeding points, really good points to check out in the fall as well. You definitely want to go check those out. And they're really close to that river channel. So that just makes them even more primo places. So that puts us at Rivers Bend Park. So we'll stop there. When we come back on the next video, we'll start right here and we will go down and finish. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to go ahead and just finish this thing because I didn't realize we were so close. We only have 5 or 6 more, so might as well just cover it right now. So let's go on up here. We've got the river channel that comes up here. We've got a pretty nice ledges over here. You could definitely get out here, especially if it's got submerged vegetation all in here. You could probably get out there and find the edge of the grass. Get out there as far as you need to find the edge of the grass, and then just fish the outer edges of the grass, and you'll be surprised at what you can find out there. But as you're coming up here, if you don't want to fish the entire thing, I would say come up here closer to where it ends again and fish right in here. Now there's a little marker someone put there, so it's probably some kind of, just says generic info. Don't know if I can click it for you guys or not, but just some generic info that's out there about that spot. Probably doesn't even tell me. Oh, it just says the Bermuda Triangle. So I guess if you go out there, don't get lost. But definitely looking right there. I really like the way that sets up that ledge, that nice soft point that comes out there, the way it kind of tapers off. I really like that. And then getting out here, getting pretty deep out here, though, there is a hump that's out here in about 35 foot of water. I know that sounds really deep, but I mean, if the lake's 10 foot low, that puts you at 25 foot. That's not bad at all. Even in the summertime, that's not that bad of a depth to go try out. So definitely go look at that hump. It'll definitely be worth trying out. We've got a couple more spots right in here. We've got a little hump that's over here, 6 foot. So mark that for you guys. Moving on up here, we've got this little road bed, and we've got a nice little ledge that's going on right here too. I like this whole road bed that's right here and then a major drop that's right here. But if you look at that drop right before it happens, it's about 22 foot, and it drops off big time. But a lot of this stuff right in here, you'd probably just have to scan around in this area and just see what you can find in that area. But I do like the way it sets up. And if you look, it's really close to that river channel swing again. Then moving down here, didn't see anything too crazy that was over here. And I'm sure I probably missed some stuff. But my next 3 spots would be right in here. These 3 spots here. Obviously, you can see the point here. If I zoom into this other one that's out here, this is another one of those little humps that's out here. I messed that up. Come out here. It's another one of these little, I guess it's an underwater point. It's not even a hump. I thought it was a hump, but it's not. It's just an underwater point that's out there. So definitely go look at that. Really like how that one sets up. It goes out there, big time, main lake, all kinds of good stuff. And then here's that point that I was telling you about as well. Over here, some really good spots. Obviously, the ends of the points are always good. And then closer towards the inside of the points are always good as well. But this one's really awesome because look at the break that's on this side. So if you've got vegetation here, it may end right there at that break. And so that's right where your break's going to be. That's right where the fish are going to collect up at. All kinds of good stuff right there. So you definitely want to go look at that spot as well. And then we're going to stop here. This will be our last and final waypoint for Stillhouse Hollow. We're going to come over here, down here, a little bit off the beaten path, off the main river channel. But this little point right here, nice little rounded point, but it has a nice little spot right here that comes in and has a nice little break right there. There's also another marker that's right here that says that there's a tire pile right in that area. So I'll zoom back out so you guys can see where that's at. It's right there. So that covers us for our offshore lake breakdown for Stillhouse Hollow. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this series. We've got lots of other lakes coming to you, lots more videos to come. Make sure to go out and check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. You can pick up this lake plus many other lakes that we have out there. We're up to about 80, 85 lakes now. So pretty much if you fish in Texas, I bet we have broke your lake down, or we have it on a list to break down here pretty soon. And then also, if you can, please go check out our sponsor, OmniaFishing.com. They are awesome. Got introduced to these guys, ended up being an ambassador for the site. You can get all your fishing stuff, line, gear, lures, all kinds of good stuff. And the cool thing about it is two things. One, you can sign up for a membership, which is fairly cheap. And when you do that, I think it's like $25, $30. When you do that, it's free shipping all year, which is going to save you a ton of money, and it's primo shipping. So basically, you order it, you get it in about 2 or 3 days. So it's perfect. It's free shipping, almost like you're shipping on Amazon. All right, getting choked up here about Omnia Fishing. Anyways, guys, go check it out. I've got a link down below in the video description. If you'll use that, that will let them know that I sent you over there. Their stuff is good. I promise you that. Go ahead and get that membership if you can. That will help you. And then the number one thing that I didn't even tell you is once you do that, you also get 10% credit on all of the purchases that you make. So which is super cool because then you take that credit, you apply it towards your new stuff. So basically every time you buy something, you get 10% towards something else, which is freaking awesome. Anyways, guys, until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.